Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's TPM5 here, back again with another NBA video, and today I'm going to be discussing whether the Chicago Bulls made a mistake by trading for Nikola Vucevic. Now, the trade at the trade deadline that sent Nikola Vucevic and Al-Farouq Aminu to the Chicago Bulls in exchange for Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter Jr., and two first-round draft picks, both in 2021 and 2023 respectively, and there is a protection on that. However, one of those will have to fall top four for the protection to be enabled. With the deal pairing All-Star center Vucevic with another promising player in Zach Lavine, the Chicago Bulls were expecting an improvement on their 19 and 24 record. However, currently they sit 29 and 39, good enough for the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference, and they sit 2.5 games outside of the play-in, which is a relatively lenient thing for teams in their position, and to not even be in the play-in when they were in before the trade has the alarm bell sounding for Chicago. Chicago, at this point with the talent on their roster, should certainly be in the play-in at the bare minimum. In his first 15 games in Chicago, Vucevic averaged 22.3 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 3.4 assists per game. However, had a box plus minus of minus 6.5, which is rather shocking. However, the lack of team success can be attributed to Zach Lavine missing numerous games due to ankle issues, and also helpful point guard Kobe White missing some games too, due to some neck spasms. However, even if or when the pair are on the floor together, many questions have been asked about the defensive abilities. Zach Lavine is known as a really good offensive player, but has still had some holes on the other end of the floor, and Vucevic has held his own in his stint, but it is quite clear that he is going to need some more help down low when he plays in Chicago. Another excuse for the Chicago Bulls' struggles after acquiring Vucevic is that he joined just as they went on their West Coast trip, which is already going to be hard enough to begin with, let alone when they have to accommodate a newly acquired player like Vucevic into the lineup, and the combined winning percentage of those teams was 54%. Keep in mind that the Chicago Bulls currently have a win percentage of 43, and it kind of shows you a bit about the quality of their team and the quality of the teams they were playing against in that stretch, while also trying to accommodate a player they just acquired and trying to obviously deal with the rotation with, I guess, a lot of inconsistencies, as Zach Lavine had ankle issues and was in and out of the lineup. Kobe White was also in and out of the lineup. You also had Daniel Tice, who had personal issues, and you also had a little bout of COVID in the NBA on their team. So yeah. However, as I mentioned before, on the defensive end, the Chicago Bulls averaged just under 50 points per game allowed against in the paint, which is good enough or bad enough to be the 5th worst in the league, which is quite astounding, but that just shows the extent of their issues defending the low block. They allow 61% of the total points they concede from the 2-point range, so that's basically third last in the NBA when it comes to that, so again, not very good in that aspect of defense either. So they've had some struggles on the defensive side of the floor, and this offseason when they go to reshape their roster, that is something they should look to adjust. The reason why the Nikola Vucevic trade is relevant to their struggles is because they trade away two first-round draft picks, one this year and one in 2 years in 2023. However, if the Chicago Bulls aren't careful, they could be sending a top 10 pick to the Orlando Magic this season, as they're most likely not going to make the play-in, as they're 2.5 games back with the NBA schedule for most teams within 5, so it would take a bit of a drastic turn of events for them to actually make the playoffs and avoid giving away a valuable pick. This move seems like reeks of desperation to try and please Zach Lavine so they can keep him long term, and also kind of was I guess the desperation move, but it was, at the time it looked good, but I just don't think that it's kind of harsh to blame Vucevic for this, because he's been playing well, almost up to the level he was in Orlando. However, Chicago as a team have suffered from quite a few injuries, and and the tough schedule makes it hard for them to gain momentum when they have key players in and out of the lineup consistently. So I believe that it'll take some time for this to adjust, and for their sake and the Bulls' sake, let's hope that their pick doesn't go too high in the draft lottery this year. Let's just give some credit to the Orlando Magic front office, who have been, for the most part over the last few years since the Dwight Howard trade, have been rather lackluster and actually pretty poor as a front office. This looks like it might actually be one of the biggest coups they make in recent history, and I guess we'd have to give some props to them considering that everyone thought this was a wash when the trade happened and the Bulls won it by far. So that's it for the video, guys. If you've made it to the end, I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Peace out and see you guys for the next video. Goodbye.